Even though Game of Thrones is over, its legacy lives on, no matter what you thought of the controversial last season. Several rumored spin-off projects show that the old dragon still has some life in it. One of these beasts has already been let out into the world. HBO's hit show House of the Dragon from 2022.
I Corlys Velaryon. I Ormond Baratheon.
Matt Smith and his shiny blonde wig marked a triumphant return to Westeros and the Targaryen dynasty, but there seems to have been some drama behind the scenes. A few weeks after the show's premiere at the beginning of September, it was announced that Game of Thrones director and boss Miguel Sapochnik was leaving his role as the co-showrunner of House of the Dragon and, well, the whole project. When he said it at the time, it was, "Working in the Game of Thrones universe for the past few years has been an honor and a privilege, especially the last two with the amazing cast and crew of House of the Dragon. I'm so proud of what we did in Season 1, and I'm thrilled by how enthusiastic our viewers have been."
Mindset of what it would be like to be in a battle like that.
We can't ignore Sapochnik's role in making the show what it is today. He did a lot to help bring George R.R. Martin's Westeros to life on screen. Some of the most talked about parts of the saga are his work.
Hi there, this is George R.R. Martin, coming to you from Santa Fe, New Mexico, from Santa Fe's original art house.
Like Season 5's The Gift, Season 6's Battle of the Bastards, which also won him an Emmy, and Season 7's The Winds of Winter. With this in mind, many loyal fans of the franchise were surprised by his departure. This is especially true when you consider that House of the Dragon was a huge success,
So we have some questions from fans.
breaking records for HBO and making it clear that people wanted the story to go on. Now, new stories have come out that make guesses about why Sapochnik decided to leave. According to those reports, Sapochnik wanted to add his wife Alexis Rabin to the production team for the second season of House of the Dragon. However, HBO reportedly thought she didn't have enough experience and fought against the move. If Rabin's name sounds familiar, it's because she's been in Game of Thrones before. She played Talia, the maid for Queen Alicent, and she was also a producer on the first season of Dragon. But it's said that Sapochnik left the franchise when she didn't know what would happen next.
And they left me with my little brother. The second afternoon they were gone was the hottest day in the 3-year summer. We couldn't bear to be inside, so we ran down to the Vroin.
Some people used to think that Sapochnik, as a member of the creative team for the Game of Thrones franchise, would have played a key role in building the worlds of future prequels and sequels, like the highly anticipated Jon Snow spin-off. But now that he's left, this seems less likely. In addition to these new reports about Sapochnik, changes at HBO seem to have put some projects inspired by Game of Thrones in doubt. George R.R. Martin confirmed in June 2022, after a report from The Hollywood Reporter, that Kit Harington was working on a project with the working title Snow. He said at the time that, "I cannot tell you the names of the writers or showrunners, since that's not been cleared for release yet. And there's not much more concrete information out there at this point." In fact, HBO hasn't even officially announced the show yet. It's thought that some of the Game of Thrones spin-offs have been put on hold while business decisions are made behind the scenes, such as the merger of HBO Max and Discovery Plus.
I was actually writing another novel. I was writing a science fiction novel that I'd been intending to write for some time. And just one day, the first chapter of Game of Thrones came to me. The scene where they find the direwolf pups in the summer snows.
That was the first scene that you wrote?
That was the first scene that I wrote, yeah.
Martin wrote a post on his website in December 2022 about all the things he was working on, including the confirmed second season of House of the Dragon, and several of the other successor shows that were developing with HBO, he said, before adding, "Some of those are moving faster than others, as is always the case with development. None have been greenlit yet, though we're hoping maybe soon. A couple have been shelved, but I would not agree that they're dead." A phrase used by followers of the drowned god on the Iron Islands, "What is dead may never die," has taken on a new meaning in the blog of George R.R. Martin, author of A Song of Ice and Fire and co-creator of House of the Dragon. What's dead but still alive? The many spin-offs of Game of Thrones that are being made. There will be a series about Jon Snow, a series about Corlys Velaryon, a show about Princess Nymeria, a comedy about Dunk and Egg, and an animation project. To paraphrase Cersei Lannister, when you play with intellectual property, you either win or lose. Even though these shows were put on hold, it doesn't look good for them. It's a strange turn of events, given that the prequel to Game of Thrones, House of the Dragon, had the most viewers for a first season of a series in HBO's 50-year history. So, which spin-offs will be successful and which won't? After Warner Bros. Discovery and HBO merged in spring 2022, the choices that Warner Bros. Discovery made can tell us what kinds of stories HBO seems to value most. Kit Harington returning as Jon Snow seems like the easiest way to get fans to watch more Game of Thrones.
What it means to me is the pinnacle and at the forefront of what drama should be.
So the popular character's long-awaited sequel series might not get cut. However, the Warner Bros. Discovery merger may delay the project's completion. The same logic applies to 9 Voyages, a planned prequel series that would be similar to the 7th voyage of Sinbad. It would follow Lord Corlys Velaryon, Steve Toussaint, a fan-favorite character from House of the Dragon, on his many seafaring adventures through the rough waters of Westeros, Essos, and beyond.
The king has an heir, Daemon Targaryen.
Which sequel is most likely to die? A planned prequel called 10,000 Ships, which would tell the story of the Dornish queen Nymeria, doesn't seem like as good of a bet. Even though Nymeria's name has been important throughout the series, HBO viewers may not be as interested in a story about a Rhoynar princess running away from dragon lords in Essos 1,000 years before Game of Thrones. Most of the noble houses that viewers have grown to know wouldn't be in the prequel. So the political intrigue and family drama that are some of the most interesting parts of the Thrones series might not be as important to the plot as they are in House of the Dragon. Another spin-off that seems like it won't last, the animated one that's said to be called The Golden Empire and is set in Essos during the Yeti dynasty. After seeing Warner Bros. Discovery cut down its list of upcoming animated projects and removed some animated shows and movies from HBO Max, it doesn't look like there will be a Game of Thrones cartoon. Which Game of Thrones spin-off's fate is unknown? The Red Priestess can't tell what will happen in the Tales of Dunk and Egg, a planned prequel that might be the only truly good game in the series. The shenanigans of Dunk, Sir Duncan the Tall, and Egg, Daenerys' grandpa Aegon V Targaryen, are much funnier and less serious than the main Song of Ice and Fire books. The 3 novellas by George R.R. Martin that the show would be based on are great, but they're very different from the sexual tension in House of the Dragon and the brutality in Game of Thrones. Fans of the books might want to see Dunk and Egg come to life, but fans of the shows might not be as interested in a warm and funny storyline in the bloody world of Westeros. Which spin-off would you like to see? Let us know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, see you in the next video.